What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, KeenenX, and today we are diving into Python. I feel like this is a great way to start this channel and a great way to show you my progress and my journey and teach you guys what I've learned over the last few months with me learning Python. So before we even jump into getting Python set up and telling you the different applications and the right settings to put onto your code editors, let me explain to you what Python is. Python is one of the few programming languages that is very, very powerful. Okay, it's honestly the most popular coding language available right now that a lot of enterprises, large corporations, and even small corporations are using to program applications, analyzing data, automating different tasks and tools, and just completing, day-to-day tasks. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install Python and how to start using Python. This video is for beginners, so you're able to follow through with me and I'll be able to answer all the questions that you may have with getting started with Python. All right, this is one of the few videos that I'm going to make for this playlist. So if you're watching this early, this may be, the first video that you're seeing, but make sure you check out my playlist so you can watch step by step on how to set up Python and actually how to start understanding the language. All right, so step one, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to python.org. okay, so what we're going to go ahead and download first is the Python interpreter. Okay, so we're going to go over to downloads and we're going to click download Python 3.1.3. Whenever you're watching this video, there may be a newer updated version, and that's fine. Go ahead and download that. So we're going to download this into our system. All right, so if you are on Windows, make sure you click add python.exe to path. All right, it's going to save you a lot of headaches and a lot of trouble in the future. All right, and let's click install now. Another thing that I can tell you about Python is if this is your first language that you are learning, Python is by far one of the easier programming language to learn. So this is your first language. This is probably the best language to learn first. All right. And for anyone who's wondering what are the best programming languages to learn, in my opinion, Python, JavaScript, and maybe Java. Again, it really depends on what your desires are. Are you looking to develop more of like web applications, or are you looking to design like more of mobile apps, like let's just say iOS apps? Maybe you should look more into TypeScript or Swift. Swift is the programming language that Apple uses to be able to create different Mac OS applications and iOS applications. All right, so depending on what you want to learn and what career path you're going towards, you should do a little research on what languages you should keen on first. But Python by far is a great universal language that you can learn, that you can incorporate in any path that you're going to choose. So this channel is more of like cybersecurity oriented and also like full stack oriented. So I'm going to be going over multiple languages and also how to build different applications and scanners, like vulnerability scanners and things like that on Python for all my cybersecurity experts or apprentices. So this just finished downloading. All right, and what we're going to do next since that's finished downloading, we're going to need something called a code editor. All right. Usually you'll find that there's two different tools that developers use. You use either a code editor like VS Code, which is something that I recommend that I use myself, or you use an IDE, which is pretty much like a code editor, but it has a more fancy functionalities and tools to kind of make your life easier. Doesn't matter which one you choose, an IDE or a code editor, no, but in my time of learning and getting to understand Python, I would recommend like an IDE if you're a beginner, because the functionalities and tools help you automatically format your coding so you're not making simple mistakes. Also, it has something called linting, which helps you with any type of errors that you may have when coding, so you don't have to be perfect with remembering exactly how to format or exactly how to structure things. So let's go ahead and download VS Code. Come to this download section right here, and I am on Windows, so I'm going to download VS Code on Windows. We can create a desktop icon. It's up to you. I like a very simplistic, easy way to get to my to navigate to my code editor. Let's go ahead and let this install. So the code editor is what we use to actually create different applications, like the actual back end process. For anyone who's new to coding, you have front end and you have back end. All right, just to make things simple. I don't want to have to dive too much into the specific specs of, you know, coding just yet. I'm going to have like a more advanced like step-by-step course to help you guys out. But right now, let's stick to the beginners, let's stick to the basics, and let's stick to figuring this stuff out. All right, but we're going to go ahead and skip past this, and we're going to go ahead and get into how I would set up my VS Code to make my life easier. All right, let's get to it. All right, guys, so we're in VS Code, and I feel like I should dive a little bit deeper into Copilot for anyone who is still, you know, new or novice to, you know, programming and coding and things like that. So let me take some weight off your shoulders, because coding can be very intimidating. Copilot is a new AI tool that allows you to make mistakes. Okay, you don't have to remember and know everything. That comes from time and time of being more familiar and used to the environments and familiar and used to programming and coding. But with Copilot, you're able to make mistakes. Even if you don't know how to code something, you can type what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to make a secure password or something, like like the back end of creating a password, you can tell Copilot what you're trying to do and it'll create the code for you. That doesn't mean to strictly rely on AI. See how AI is showing you how to code it, and it'll help you memorize how to code it for next time. But it's a very powerful tool for not even just beginners, but for advanced coding and programmers, for us to really make our life simpler and more easier. So now let's actually dive into VS Code and see how to start configuring our platform so we can have the best results. So the first thing you want to do is click New File. Let's start off with a new file. Just click New File right here, or you can click Control N. Click Control N for a new file. All right. And the first thing that I do is I come over here to extensions. All right. And let's type in Python. Let's type in Python. Here we go. let's type in Python and let's click install, because we're learning Python and we want to understand Python some more. So let's install Python, right? So while this is installing, again, this is an extension marketplace. It's here to make your life easier. All right, it doesn't just have Python here. You can type in like Java, for example. You can install Java. Again, it has more extensions for Java, you know, and things like that. This is a code editor, so it's not just Python. It's whatever language you're trying to learn and develop, right? But let me check Python. We just installed Python, so Python is installed, all right? And it's just that simple, guys. All right, so now let's go ahead and actually use Python. We downloaded the extension, so let's actually use the code. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna click on File. You're gonna come over to New File, and then you're gonna click Python File. Don't click Text File, click Python File, and now you're able to code in Python, all right? So let's start off with something simple. All right, let's do print hello subscribers. All right, so we're gonna put print hello subscribers. So print is how we execute our codes. All right, so I'm pretty much telling VS Code, hey, I want you to display hello subscribers onto our console. All right, and what is our console? We click this play button up here to actually run the file. Let's save it, find somewhere to save it, and boom, hello subscribers. All right, so again, this is pretty much how you set up your VS Code and how you can get to edit, play around, and start to learn Python. All right, in my next videos, I'm going to start breaking down how to learn Python step by step, so you're not confused, you don't feel overwhelmed, and so you can master Python very, very quick. All right, so without further ado, make sure you stay tuned to my next videos and hit the subscribe button if you are on your full stack journey or your automation journey and you want to really learn different coding languages. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Peace.